This is The Minimum Commitment, film theory in small doses. Some decisions become obvious on their own. Others arrive quietly. A change in direction, a telephone call, a promise made years earlier. At the time, they feel common. Only later do we realize they changed everything. I'm Don Lawler, film scholar, sound obsessive, and someone who has spent enough time with movies to know that our lives are often shaped by decisions that keep imprinting themselves long after we've made them. Let's get into it. Before the first phone call, before the marriage begins to crack, before the career starts to slip, and before the child enters the world, Ivan Locke sits at a red light. Tom Hardy stars as Ivan Locke, who carries the entire film on his shoulders. For the next 90 minutes, his face becomes the film's terrain. Every fear, every calculation, every fracture in his confidence. The tragedy has already begun. Stephen Knight's Locke is one of the most unlikely films of the 21st century. A single actor, a single vehicle, a motorway at night. No explosions, no action sequences, no physical confrontation. And somehow, it feels enormous. Why? Because the film understands something Shakespeare understood centuries ago. The most important battles are often invisible. Locke is a modern Shakespearean tragedy, staged inside a moving vehicle. The setting is small. The cast is largely unseen. The most important character may be a ghost. At its center stands a man whose greatest strength slowly becomes his greatest liability. When most people think of tragic heroes, they think of fatal flaws. Macbeth's ambition, the destructive jealousy of Othello, the pride of King Lear. Each man is undone by a quality he cannot control. Ivan Locke presents a different challenge. His defining characteristic is integrity. He tells the truth when dishonesty would be easier. He accepts responsibility when avoidance would be safer. He refuses to abandon a child he helped create despite knowing exactly what it will cost him. At first, these qualities appear commendable, but tragedy often emerges when virtue becomes absolute. Ivan is a good man. However, his commitment to principle has become so rigid that it begins breaking everything around him. Throughout the film, Locke speaks to his father. Or, more accurately, he speaks to the absence his father left behind. The conversations are some of the film's most revealing moments. Ivan is not hallucinating. He is not losing his mind. He is processing, confronting the person who shaped him by failing him. The father never answers. He never speaks, yet his presence dominates the film. Like the ghosts that haunt Shakespeare's tragedies, Locke's father represents unfinished business that refuses to stay buried. Every conversation becomes a declaration. I am not you. I will not become you. Even if it costs me everything. Viewed this way, Ivan is not simply driving toward London. He is driving toward a choice he must make for himself, and away from the life pattern he fears repeating. One of the film's most fascinating contradictions is Locke himself. His marriage is collapsing. His career is unraveling. His family is devastated. Yet he keeps talking about concrete. Mixtures, logistics, procedures, and engineering. At times, it can be infuriating. Why is he talking about concrete when his life is falling apart? Because concrete obeys regulations. People do not. The concrete job can be calculated. Problems can be anticipated. Mistakes can be corrected. Human beings provide no such guarantee. Locke has spent his life building structures that stand because every variable has been accounted for. Now, he stands before something that will not yield to design. It will not bend beneath a clever diagram or a perfect plan. What rises in him has no measurements, no angles, only the slow burn of regret, the quiet tremor of fear, the heavy, unshakable weight of responsibility. For these, there is no blueprint. Ivan's decision to drive to London centers on inheritance, not money, not possessions. We inherit patterns, values, absences, and fears. Ivan's father abandoned him, and that absence became a defining force in his life. Everything Ivan does during the film can be understood as a response to that absence. The child waiting to be born will never remember whether Ivan stood in that hospital room. Ivan will, because for him, this moment is larger than a single night. This is a test of identity, not responsibility, asking, who will he become? Watching Locke makes it nearly impossible not to ask yourself a difficult question. What would I do? How much would I sacrifice to remain true to my principles? At what point does integrity become self-destruction? Many films ask whether characters can do the right thing. In this film, the question is a bit more pointed. What are the consequences of doing the right thing when it comes at the greatest cost? There are no easy answers, only outcomes. Locke transforms a motorway into a Shakespearean stage. A man drives through the darkness, arguing with a ghost who never left. By the time the credits roll, two questions still hang in the air. What do we inherit from the people who shaped us? And what do we spend our lives trying not to become? Ivan Locke believes he knows the answer. The road ahead may cost him his marriage, his career, his control, and yet he refuses to surrender one thing: the right to decide for himself what kind of man he will be. That's your thought for the day. Minimum commitment, maximum meaning. See you next time. The Minimum Commitment is produced, recorded, and edited by Don Lawler. Music by Don Lawler.